for farmers, for laborers, for kids, for minorities, for marginalized people. We're the party that believes we work together to improve everybody's lives a little bit. We are all winners, and I will always advocate for that. And I think that the Democratic Party, we need to build up our party, and we're going to get more people engaged. Republicans can do whatever they're going to do, but I want more people engaged and participating, and I want more debate, and I want to make sure everyone's point of view is being respected and heard, and that's what I believe, and that's what I'm committed to. Yes?
You mentioned farmers just now.
Yes.
Which agricultural issues interest you the most, and what's your view on? It's a general question because I don't know much about it myself, but.
Well, I like to eat.
Pardon me?
I like to eat. So I think farmers are pretty important in that respect. I think that farmers are really important when it comes to trade and the economic prosperity of this district. I went to Adam Kinzinger's town hall in Rockford last spring, and he was asked the question, with all of Trump's rhetoric against Mexico and calling Mexico criminals and wanting to build this wall, is that going to hurt our trade relationship with Mexico? And our representative for the 16th Congressional District said, we'll find other trading partners. We'll find other trading partners. To be so flippant about Mexico, which is one of Illinois' top 3 trading partners, importers of Illinois corn, beef, pork, shows me he has no comprehension of what's important in this district or this state, and how one president can adversely hurt our state with thoughtless comments. Mexico, in case you don't know, Mexico is already seeking other trading partners, not Illinois. Mexico is in negotiations with Argentina for Argentinian corn. Who is that going to hurt? Is it worth it? Is it worth cutting off our nose to spite our face? Is it worth it for the Republican Party to continue to demonize Mexico and the immigrants that come from Mexico to the United States at the cost of losing one of our top trading partners? I don't think so. I think it's irresponsible. I think farmers are really important. I think our economy depends on making sure that we support family farmers, small farmers. I'm a little bit biased because my mom was a farm girl from Henry County, and my uncle still farms our family Centennial farm over there, so I am a little bit biased. I'm also huge into 4-H, even though I was a city kid, and I know that farmers are no different from any working individual trying to support their families. And I know that the federal government can either make it a little bit easier for farmers to be profitable and sustainable, or they can make it harder. And when Republicans are in charge, they make it harder for farmers to make a living. Oh, you're in charge. There are a lot.
Guy.
This is all getting increasingly depressing to a lot of us. And the way I envision it, I mean, we're in like a whirlpool. We're caught in a whirlpool with all of this stuff happening, and it's affecting us globally. It's affecting our image in the world of in the global image in the world. And I'm wondering, you know, what we need is a strong presidential candidate in our party. I don't see anybody coming to the fore that could win the election, which I think we gotta take. The only way we can take back the country is to have somebody in the White House who is a moral leader and a person who's concerned about the middle class, as you were referring to. what do you see happening at the federal level in terms of a good presidential candidate in our party?
Well, I will disagree with you. I don't think that our future depends on running a strong Democratic presidential candidate. That's top down. I think our future depends on what we are doing now, bottom up. We need to make sure that we're building our party and we're making it accessible for local candidates to run, state candidates, federal candidates. Part of the problem in getting people to run for office is we don't have that strong party support, and candidates are left to raise their own money. And so what are we left with? Candidates who are already self-funded. And we are responsible for that. We are in that situation. We have the lack of choice in candidates because we are not engaged in our process at the level we all need to be as good citizens. Right, what was it Benjamin Franklin said? We have a republic, keep it if you can, which means we all have to be paying attention. We all have to be participating at every level. So I believe very much in bottom-up participation. And I am hopeful, because look at you guys. How many of you came out before last year's election and met and were interested? Okay, less than half the room. How many of you are new to paying attention? Newer. Here in Princeton, you are engaged. Look at this turnout. This is amazing. In Lee County, Action for a Better Tomorrow, they, the one, Sara Bingaman, I don't know if you met her because she tends to try and get everywhere to get more people excited. She admits freely, after the election, she and a couple of friends got together at 12 o'clock on Wednesday and cried about the election. And then they started at meeting every Wednesday after that, 12 o'clock every Wednesday in Dixon. And she says it was more of a group therapy situation for the first couple of months than anything else. But now they're energized, they're motivated. They participated in the Women's March. They've held vigils over various things. They make calls, they canvass, they circulate petitions. And these are people who were never politically involved before. And I think that we have to talk about exactly what your group does. This isn't about being in politics. This is good governance. This is being a good citizen, being attentive to the process, and participating. That's bottom up. And this is an investment. It's not just about 2020. 2020 doesn't matter if we're not prepared for 2024. And that is bottom up, and that's exactly what everyone here today is doing, and I'm seeing it across the district. It motivated me to come out and run. I got a pretty great life, right? I'm sure all of us have other things that we'd rather be doing. But this is our responsibility, and we feel called to be involved. And we just have to spread that.
Sarah?
Do you have, I was just thinking along those lines, it seems to me a strategy in the 16th district, which is already drawn, sort of written off as a Republican district, is to mobilize a much greater turnout of people who never voted or haven't been politically engaged. So I wonder if you have any strategy for particularly reaching young people on particular issues. I'm just guessing, but I might be wrong, because you know the county Democratic parties all around.
Yeah.
That they're probably a little bit older than.
They are, but I see more and more young people coming out, but that's exactly why I've got Cassie, because she's way younger than me. Millennials made a huge difference in the Virginia races. And let's not make any mistake. Virginia and Alabama, Democrats won, not just because they were Democrats and people are upset. We won because we ran outstanding ground games in those states. Democrats worked hard to reach every voter that's going to vote for a Democrat. People that don't typically vote, who haven't voted before. voting consistently. Democrats ran those ground games because that's what Democrats are the best at. So here in the 16th, we have 435,000 registered voters, right? We have about, 230,000 that might come out and vote in presidential election year. Fewer than that come out in the midterm. There's a whole lot of room there to reach people who are already registered to vote who should be voting and who are not. Also in this district, we have 3 very large Latino population centers. Latino citizens in this district are not voting in the numbers they need to be voting. Traditional get out the vote methods do not work for some communities. With Latino communities, you have to have that individual personalized touch. You've got to do that. And with people that don't vote consistently regardless of color or socioeconomic status, you gotta get in front of them. They wanna see the candidate, but they won't come out and see the candidate. So the candidate's gotta go to them, right? But the candidate has to be on the phone raising money so they can buy the digital media and the print brochures to reach the people that aren't gonna come out and see them that the candidate needs to go see. So here's my strategy. I am trying to get to every single place I can as many times as possible to meet as many people as possible. And reach those communities as much as I can personally, because that's how we're gonna win. And I need, if Democrats wanna win the 16, we need 2,200 volunteers. 2,200 volunteers who will be in charge of making personal contact and building relationships with 50 voters throughout the district. And then I don't need money. No Democratic candidate needs money if they have the volunteers that will make the commitment to build the relationships with the voters. So I need 2,200 volunteers. Anyone willing? I got one, I got 2.
Well, in October of 2016, I felt pretty sure that Illinois as a whole was gonna be blue because of, Chicago area. So I volunteered to canvass door to door in Ohio because I thought that was a swing state. And so I went there and spent 2 weeks knocking on doors, handing out pamphlets, having conversations with as many people as I could for my candidate, Hillary Clinton. And, well, the results were not as I had hoped. And one of the things as a volunteer is that I think what I needed was, I felt that I lost on November the 8th, as well as my candidate lost. I mean, I really felt that way after having put so much energy into volunteering. I know you can't say to us all right now that we're all gonna win at the end of this, but.
Oh, I'm gonna win.
Okay.
I'm gonna win.
And I am I am a Democrat because I have a heart. And my heart isn't just for me and my family, my heart is for all of you. And while the corporate taxes are gonna help me, I'm not a corporation, but I have 401ks that are gonna be beautiful in the near future because of the tax breaks and the money that corporations are then gonna send out to some of us who have that piece of our money in there. But I don't care about that. I care about the person who doesn't have what I have. And I care about the Latino that you were talking about, and I wanna know if a non-Latino person can have as much influence in that community as a Latino.
I say yes, because it doesn't matter someone's color if you have a relationship with them. And I'm gonna disagree with you on this. Republicans have hearts. They do. They do. The difference is Republicans think
Different temperatures.
that Government has no role to play in improving people's lives, in using our revenues to improve all of our lives. They prefer to keep more money and decide who they personally want to give it to.
Yeah.
That's,
They have a red,
it's a
green,
difference
and
in
purple.
rules. Now, there are plenty of Republicans and plenty of very conservative churches that do a lot of good things in the community. And that's their point of view. Of course, they're wrong, that it takes all of us paying together to afford the things that we can't afford individually. And we will have that debate, and that is the debate that we should be having on the basic difference on the role of government in our communities, in our state, in our country. That's where it should be. They have hearts. They're just wrong on the worldview.
The Grinch heart.
You know, my dad's a Republican and I love him very dearly. And, you know, we all have friends who are Republicans and we have family members that we love. You know, times have gotten harder. It's important to try and keep our sense of humor and refocus the debate on where it should be. It should never get personal. I think that we'll have a hard time if we open up a conversation with an insult. That's exactly what our president does, and that's exactly why Mexico is calling Argentina. It's never a good idea to enter into negotiations on the wrong foot.
Talk about Russia and the meddling in the election last year and safeguarding the system. As you talk about, rightfully so, the commitment of people and trying to encourage people to come out. If there is a fundamental distrust, if the system or questions about the system have compromised it to such an extent, what do we do to combat that? Because it appears that the current administration has no willingness or plan to do anything to try to counter in any effective way what was done last year.
That's one thing that I find horrifying, and many of us studied civics in high school, and we understand basic democratic principles, we understand basic American history and how our government works, and when we say the Pledge of Allegiance, we mean it. And I am deeply disturbed that when a foreign government interferes in U.S. elections, we all didn't immediately unify against it. Because we're Americans, regardless of party affiliation. We're Americans, and no other country can come into and interfere with our election process without severe consequences. And I am deeply disturbed that the Republican Party in particular is not crying out about this. And we need to elect new people then, because I would expect any American to denounce foreign interference with our elections. That strikes at the very heart of our democracy. But you know what else it does? It turns people off. It turns American voters off, and then they just stop paying attention. That's some more background static noise to disengage. So maybe it's time for us to turn off the TVs like we all did this morning. And we're here talking. And you've got this gorgeous library with this cafe where people can come and meet and sit down and have one-on-one conversations. Maybe we need to start turning off the TV and the radio and talking face to face.
This is less of a question, more of a statement and an advertisement. Sarah is exactly correct. We need more engagement from everybody. I think when people get together and discuss the issues, we find we got much more in common than there is that divides us. There's an old saying that we get the government that we deserve, and I think there's a lot of truth to that. We also get the parties that we deserve. If we don't get involved in the machinery of the parties, we leave it to the people that are in charge. The local or the Bureau County Democrats have a Facebook page. I encourage all of you to take a look at it. We've got about 480 members, which I think is double our Republicans here in this county. There's a Christmas dinner this Thursday at the Depew VFW. for the Illinois Valley Democrats. Everybody is welcome. If you want to take part in this process, one of the ways to get involved is to get involved at the party level. You can make a difference. I've been involved in local politics for 18 years. Doesn't happen fast, but if you keep at it, you can have a voice, you can make a difference. And as a Democrat, I can tell you, I'm so excited to see that we've had 3 dynamic candidates stand up. Sara, Mary, and Neil to run against added candidates here to bring this district back to the working people of this district. Thank you, Sara, for standing up, stepping forward.
Thank you, Mike, for your public service.
Excuse me, sir. What time is that dinner Thursday?
7 o'clock.
Thank you.
I think that's almost a perfect place to kind of wind things down. If there's any other outstanding
I
questions.
have one question to ask.
Sorry?
This morning, I have not had time to read the Chicago Tribune, but I noticed something now that they've instituted some kind of new program. It has something to do with the link cards and Medicaid. This governor is involved in this. And I've noticed that some people have had their benefits either denied or reduced or completely stopped. And I didn't get to read the whole article, but from what I hear, it's not the people's fault. It's something to do with this new system that's supposed to make things more efficient for the state of Illinois. And I'm wondering, what have you heard about this? I have not read the whole article.
I don't know, I haven't read the article. I do know that changes were made to the link system where more people are not eligible for link and benefits will be reduced and eliminated. And I disagree with that. But of course, I'm a Democrat, and Democrats and Republicans will fundamentally disagree on whether or not we should be using tax dollars to pay for things like health insurance, healthcare, food, public schools. That is a fundamental difference between Republicans and Democrats.
That's basically the base of it. That's the difference of it here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because from what I've read right now, they're apologizing to these people and they're trying to get this straightened out. But from what I saw, it showed this mother with her children, and she says, "I'm just trying to feed my kids." And it says right there that she is due for this assistance. And
Well, is it just a technical problem for those that still qualify for their benefits?
Yes, I think so. See, I'm on all of that right now. And now I know what the poor people go through. And it seems since we got this governor in there, he's wanting to balance the budget on the poor people's backs in this state here. And
I don't disagree with
I'm very
that.
furious about the situation.
I think you're exactly right.
I am not registered to vote, but this is pushing me towards registering to vote.
Who here
would
is
hope
a
so.
voter registrar? We got a live one. We need a voter registrar stat.
Yes, absolutely.
Cassie, make sure you get his name and contact information. We will get one out to you.
Because I'd like to know more about this, because they reduced mine. And I thought that was really strange, because they're supposed to go by your income, but this lady I work with, we sort of make the same thing per hour. So how could all of a sudden her link benefits be the same amount as mine? But I know her amount of money that she makes, has to be different. But are they going by what we make per hour?
And this is exactly what your state representative or your state senator is for, to go down to their office and get answers.
Yes.
And if there's something wrong, they need to be your advocate, because that's what a representative is supposed to be, an advocate for constituent concerns. And when people get tangled up in the messy machinery of government and systems, we are supposed to be your navigator and get you through it.
Yes.
That's what I do for my clients through our immigration system, navigate a system that sets people up to fail. So you need an advocate, and we also need to start electing people that are interested in creating systems that work, that benefit everyone.
Yes, well, they're wanting to mess with my Medicaid too. They're wanting to move me into another managed care program too.
Sarah's gonna be here for a little while longer, so for anyone that wants to spend some time,
Who wants a coffee? I'm gonna go out there and get a coffee. Who wants a coffee?
Yeah, I'm on the computer back there anyhow, and it's time limited here, so I was invited to come in and listen, and
I'm glad that you did it. Cassie's gonna get your information. We're gonna be all over you for voter registration.
I'd like to thank Sarah very much for joining us. Thank you to all of you for coming out and also joining us. We will keep you posted on future informational topical programs. And with that, I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and I'm gonna go get a coffee. And for those of you that are leaving, now you know, you've looked at candidates that are running for any office, you're gonna go home and you're gonna throw them a little bit of money. Because that's how we start changing the system.